Hello, welcome back to my WOD board and video number 3 in my 4-video series. Now in the last video I mentioned that I wanted to touch on something with you that our whole community is talking about, and I did mention that I didn't want you to do it, and the reason for that is that you need to be completely fat dependent. And what I'm going to talk to you about is intermittent fasting for performance. Where does it come from? Why do you need to be fat dependent, and what can it do for you? Remember, I want you in the top 4 in your box, or if your goal is to compete, I want you hitting PRs weekly. This can help you, but you may not be ready for it yet. So, what is it? It's a sequence of purposefully skipping breakfast. Think of it as interval training, but with food. It's extremely simple. Now, it goes against conventional wisdom of many nutritionists out there stating that you must start your day with a very big breakfast. Now, this actually goes against the way our body was set up, against our circadian rhythm and also our different types of nervous systems. In the morning, we are in a different state. Our body is in extreme detox mode, which means it's actually not ready for a massive influx of food. Think back to Paleo Man. He would not have stepped out of his cave in the morning and had a big breakfast ready, available to him. What would he have had to have done? He would have had to have gone out and searched and hunted and gathered for those foods. He would not have found them straight away. They would have eaten later on after he'd made the kill or gathered, brought it back, prepared the food, and then started eating in the latter part of the day. So, what is it? How do you do it? Okay, so as I mentioned, it's almost like interval training, but with food. You're basically just having planned breaks from food and planned feeding periods. Now, there's different formats. You can go for long periods of a day or so, or you can break it down to a more like a 16-hour fast with an 8-hour feed, which is actually the most popular and the one that comes with the most performance benefits. Okay, so you're basically purposefully skipping breakfast. Now, when you do that, what happens is, towards the middle of the day, you actually increase a massive influx of the catecholamines, or adrenaline and noradrenaline, which improve your mental focus and concentration, which means we can aim to go for our training or our intense WOD around the end of our fasting period, which means that we're peaked in our adrenaline, which gets us concentrating and focused, ready to really hit those WODs with intensity. Now, we also get an increase in fat burning. That's because we haven't eaten anything. I like to think as insulin as your fat loss dimmer switch. The more that insulin is produced, the reduced amount of fat that is burned. If we can keep insulin levels extremely low, our fat burning goes through the roof. Now, if we're not eating anything, our insulin levels are extremely low. Therefore, we are improving our body composition. For the first part, we are decreasing our body fat levels. Now, the great thing is that we're going to further improve our body composition by increasing our muscle mass. That's right. We can actually improve our muscle mass or get bigger by eating less or having planned feeding periods, which again goes against the conventional wisdom of being able to put on muscle mass. Remember, muscle mass is contractile fibers, stuff which helps us lift, clean, snatch, perform WODs or sprint. Okay? How is that achieved? Well, post-workout or post-WOD, we have an increased anabolic response to our post-WOD shake. So we are greatly improving our recovery. Now, because we've had nothing and we've worked out intensely, our anabolic response to that post-WOD shake shoots through the roof. So our protein synthesis is increased even more than if we'd have had something to eat prior to our WOD. We also get an increase in glycogen repletion. That is your ability to send glycogen to the muscles and the liver so that you're ready for your next WOD, fully recovered. You get an increase in your VO2 max. Again, an extremely huge beneficial portion to be able to improve your performance. We also get a reduction in our cortisol levels. Cortisol breaks the body down. By fasting and then working out, we can actually reduce our breakdown in our body, which will further improve our recovery and our performance. And like I said, we get an increase in our muscular gain. Okay, those all-important contractile fibers which help us to produce powerful, strong movements during our WODs. That's because we get a post-WOD anabolic response increase to our post-WOD shake. Now this is absolutely immense. Athletes across the globe, my athletes across the globe, are getting amazing results with just this format. But there's one big but. You must be fat dependent. Otherwise, you will have increased hunger and you will not be able to concentrate. You'll have brain fogginess and you just will not be able to cope. Cravings will go through the roof. You must follow a system or a program to get you to that point, to then think about becoming fat dependent and then moving on to hitting your personal records and personal bests with intermittent fasting as your protocol. Now, stay tuned for video 4, where I'm going to reveal to you the perfect energy sustaining formula that will get you burning fat and performing with energy through the roof without a carb in sight. Stay tuned for video number 4.